Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is June the 14th, 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June the 14th. A lot has unfolded in the last couple of hours, and I want to cover it all for you. The bottom line is President Zelenskyy has spoken with a reporter from Newsmax. Vladimir Putin has called Donald Trump. The war in Iran and Israel is escalating. The madness in the United States with multiple things going on between protest and the big parade that is coming. All of that is unfolding. The world's eyes are off of Ukraine, and I can tell you right now, we are expecting up to 400 shaheeds. They're already coming through eastern and central Ukraine. And we have some chatter on the radios about a possible ballistic missile strike on Kyiv. All of that is happening right now, and let's get to it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting. We deeply appreciate you. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and it is so encouraging that you trust us to help give you information and to look for truth together. Now, let's jump right in because Zelenskyy is not happy. He drops a warning. You can see the title of the thumbnail, the title of the video. Stand behind it 100%. I can confirm that Vladimir Putin did call Donald Trump. We will talk about that in a moment. Of course, you've heard very little about that in the United States, but in Russia and Ukraine and Europe, you're hearing tons about it. So happy birthday, Donald. Thanks, Vlad. Big parade planned today. Big parade planned today. And Zelenskyy says this is a big problem. And we're going to jump straight to that. I've got Zelenskyy talking on an interview with Newsmax, and this is what he says.
America's talks with Russians are like a warm chat. I don't think this approach will stop Putin. I'm telling you this honestly. I believe we need a tone shift, as Putin must know America will aid Ukraine. Sanctions come first. Second is supporting Ukraine's army. There are signs of reduced Ukraine aid, equating us with Russia, though they started the war and won't end it. It's very unpleasant to be put on the same level. This is unfair. So if Putin won't end the war, we should impose strong sanctions. The strongest ones. If Putin won't return kids, Russia's a terrorist state, as recognized by U.S. Congress. These are crucial matters. For Ukraine to hold out until the war ends, we need weapons support. Ultimately, it's about Europe's security.
So you can hear that's Zelenskyy on Newsmax, a very conservative American news outlet. In case you guys are watching from different countries, you're not familiar with that outlet. And I can tell you right now, he drops truth bomb after truth bomb. The Trump-Putin relationship is too warm, it's too cozy, it's too friendly. This is a big problem, not only for us, but for the world. Additionally, sanctions have to happen. Weapon supply needs to continue. The return of children, Congress has already stated that that is an activity of a terrorist regime, and they have. All of these facts he is dropping. But the world's not even looking. The world's not listening right now because everything else, the destabilization in the United States, the big parade, and the war in Iran and Israel. Now, I can tell you that Putin did call Trump, as I shared earlier, and I do have the transcript from that call, and I've bulleted out the main points because you're not going to hear about that right now inside the United States. Usually, it'll be a day or two. Oh, I'm going to have a phone call with Putin on Thursday. Nuh-uh. Today, Putin called him and wished him happy birthday. But a lot of things happened. And this is right on the heels of Zelenskyy telling all of this. And additionally, in just a minute, I'm going to share with you Hegseth this morning, in front of tanks on Fox News, confirming that weapons are being pulled out of Ukraine and sent to the Middle East. It's just, we know it, but we're hearing it over and over and over. And if you think they're leaving, do you think they're coming back? Because I'm telling you right now, the war in Iran and Israel is escalating. Israel, over the last couple of hours, has been hitting economic infrastructure. They've been hitting ports, and now they are beginning to hit targets with inside Tehran. Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking directly about that. Iran warning 1 hour ago, and this is the time of this recording, 1 hour ago, that they were going to unleash a massive strike on the civilian centers of Israel. Folks, this can escalate even more in a New York minute. So this is what we're looking at. Now, let's jump to the Putin calls Trump June 14th. I have the transcript from Russia. So Russia releases a transcript. Ushakov typically speaks about it, but then there's an actual printout transcript. And I have it. So I've pulled the main bullets for you. And Putin calls Trump June 14th, 50 minutes. The phone call was described as useful. So think about this, folks. On the day of his big birthday, his big parade, all the unrest in the United States, only 24 hours in a day, he spent one of them with Vladimir Putin. That shows you, he's loving it. Donald is loving it. Putin's loving it. They're both loving it. It's a bromance. Putin informed Trump about the progress of prisoner exchanges with Ukraine and confirmed Russia's readiness to continue negotiations with Ukraine, but only after June the 22nd. That's it. Putin then condemned Israel's military operation against Iran. Now, the United States has a different viewpoint on that. They are supporting the Israeli strike on Iran. You have a complete difference of viewpoint there. What did Donald Trump say? The United States president assessed the situation around Israel and Iran as very alarming. So the United States is trying to put this picture out, especially out of the Trump admin, that, we're just, okay, yeah, they're doing what they're doing. Yes, they informed us. But folks, listen, U.S. intelligence is running there. We know it. And also the weapons have been transferred, defensive weapons, out of Ukraine into Israel. Do you not think they knew what was coming? Of course they knew what was coming. And Putin knows it. Putin will play Donald Trump like a fiddle on this. And Trump says, oh, yeah, it's very alarming. The Russian president expressed Russia's readiness to act as a mediator between Israel and Iran. And the U.S. called Israel's strikes on Iran effective. So we have that difference of opinion there. It continues. Trump stated that the U.S. negotiators are ready to resume work with the Iranians on the nuclear issue. Both the Russian and U.S. presidents did not rule out a return to negotiations on the Iranian nuclear program. Now they're bringing it back. Okay, I don't like Iran striking Israel, Trump says. Well, Putin says, well, I don't like Israel striking Iran. Well, let's get them back to the negotiating table. That's how they bring that back to a cohesiveness for the bromance. Trump then confirmed his interest in a speedy end to the conflict in Ukraine. Thank you for stating that. Then they went to the bromance. Putin and Trump talked a majority of the time about their brotherhood in arms during the Second World War and how their positive personal relationship, and that is a quote, positive personal relationship, was very satisfying and growing. And Putin also congratulated Trump on his 79th birthday. That is why we go back to this image here. Happy birthday, Donald. Thanks, Vlad. Big parade planned today. Now, we talked about the weapons transfer. I want you to see that video. Hegseth on Fox News. And here's basically a little transcript before you see the video. U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth confirmed air defense missiles intended for Ukraine were transferred to the Middle East. We knew that from Zelenskyy days ago. U.S. confirming it. Reporter, did you really deploy any drone air defense systems for Ukraine to the Middle East? Yes, we have redeployed. We are using all available means to protect our people in the region and around the world.
I was on Capitol Hill all week in hearings. You're familiar with that, Rachel. And one of the questions was asked is, hey, did you move some of your counter UAS, counter unmanned aerial systems defenses from Ukraine to the Middle East? To which I answered, yes, we did. We're using all assets available to protect our people in that region and around the world. Because it's a different landscape in defense these days.
Yeah.
Smaller systems like that can pose a big threat. We're as prepared as we can be.
Yeah, you got.
So make sure you understood it. We pulled them from Ukraine to Israel. We didn't reroute them. We didn't say they were going and say, no, we need to reallocate this. No, they were taken from and sent to. And, we've got to take care of that region and take care of our people, man. We've got to do that. And it goes on and zooms out, and he's sitting in front of tanks. Then talks about wanting to be peaceful. It's unbelievable. Now, I want to share this with you as I close out. There is definite fallout for Ukraine that can happen due to the events that we are witnessing over the last 2 to 3 days. You may ask, think about this for a moment. And this may be something I'd like to do a combo video with somebody else and get their opinions. But fallout for Ukraine. A, the price of oil is rising. And if it gets worse, it will rise sharply, and Russia will receive an additional several tens of billions of dollars to fund their war machine. That is a fact. Number 2, you think about China, who is condemning Israel and standing with Iran. China will have difficulties getting oil from Iran. Let's say Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz. Let's say Israel takes out a lot of their oil, their economic infrastructure. China will have difficulties with oil from Iran, as the rest of the world will also, and will be significantly more dependent on oil from Russia, increasing their bottom line there. 3, the U.S. will be forced to transfer a lot of weapons, primarily air defense, to its bases in the Middle East and to its allies in the Middle East. This means deficits for Ukraine. We've already heard that from Pete Hegseth. It'll continue. 4, Europe will be greatly distracted by many aspects of the war between Israel and Iran: energy, refugees, ecology, transport. European attention to Ukraine will be reduced. And that's not logical. That's not say that Europe would abandon Ukraine or US or anybody else. It's just there's a new focus, and we can't allow to be distracted. It's difficult. We'll have to deal with everything. 5, look at this one, guys. This is the big one. And this is what I'm going to ask you to comment on this video. You think I'm in left field and way out with these observations? You think about number 5. Russia already stating today, confirmed Putin talking to Trump and stating, hey, we can help you negotiate this thing. So think about that if that happens. Russia can play an important role in the peaceful settlement of the war between Israel and Iran. And what would that do? Create preconditions for the United States' decision to withdraw from anti-Russian sanctions. You just think about that for a moment. Okay. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. I'll get this Iran thing settled down, but I need some sanctions eased. This is what we are potentially looking at. And the phone call happened today, and it's pretty much under the radar, and Zelenskyy drops the warning. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at. I can tell you now the air alarms are growing. We're now over into the Kirovograd region, and tonight expecting 400. And I'm telling you, I'll be on top of it. If something goes crazy in Ukraine, as far as a massive attack while the world's not watching, we'll be watching. We'll be sharing it with you. And you think it's kind of logical tonight. Got a war raging in Israel and Iran. We've got America distracted with unrest, with protest. And I'm not calling the protests unrest. Protest, you have a right to do that. Just do it peacefully. And the big parade, right now, Vladimir's wished happy birthday and sending the shaheeds to Ukraine. We'll keep you posted. Thank you for being here. Thank you for assisting us in sharing the truth the best we can, and we learn from each other. Be blessed.